Now from the station on your side, you're watching Wavy News 10.
Our big story this Tuesday night is tragic breaking news. Good evening. Hampton police are investigating a deadly shooting. The victim, a 2-year-old girl. It happened around 1 o'clock on Marcella Road. Police have been on the scene all afternoon. 10 on your sides, Michelle Wolf joins us live from the neighborhood with the latest. Michelle?
Yeah, Lena, investigators left about an hour ago. They were focused on this building behind me, building 517. Here's what we know. The call came in just after 1 o'clock this afternoon for a shooting. Police say a 2-year-old girl got a hold of a loaded gun inside an apartment at Bridgewater on Town Center and accidentally shot herself in the head. She died from her injuries. We spoke to a neighbor who lives in the same building and came home from work to find police and crime tape. When he found out the reason, he told us he was heartbroken.
All people are allowed to have their protection. They're allowed to have whatever they want, but at least take the necessary steps to protect your family from those, from guns. I'm sure we've run into them a couple of times, and that's really sad.
The incident is still under investigation. No word yet on if anyone will be charged. Live in Hampton, Michelle Wolf, 10 on your side.
All right, thank you for the update, Michelle. Of course, we'll continue to post any updates on this breaking news as we get details over on wavy.com. More breaking news now. This from Norfolk. That's where police are investigating a stabbing on Debris Avenue. That's right by Maury High School. The stabbing happened around 2 o'clock this afternoon. We're told a 17-year-old was taken to the hospital with non-life-threatening injuries. A person of interest is in custody, and police are not looking into any other suspects. Of course, we'll stay on top of this breaking news as well. Now to breaking news from Virginia Beach. A jury has convicted Darius White for killing a woman at a Harris Teeter gas station. He was found guilty of aggravated murder, robbery, and gun charges. This happened at the station on Independence Boulevard in December of 2021. White is accused of shooting Annie Smith 3 times. His original trial ended in a mistrial back in May. The suspect's brother, Michael White, pleaded guilty back in June. His sentencing is set for Thursday. Now to Suffolk, where dozens of Suffolk High School students are literally breathing a bit easier after many of them were stifled by a fire extinguisher accident. Chopper 10 shows us the scene of Nansemond River High School just moments after the incident. In all, almost 70 students say they got sick. 9 of them wound up in the hospital. Tonight, how the chain of events played out in this scary situation on a normally quiet Tuesday at school. 10 on your side's Kiana Patterson has this developing news tonight.
A dozen students were taken to the hospital after a fire extinguisher went off in the hallway, but parents say that they weren't notified about it until about 2.5 hours later. This cloud of smoke filled the hallway in Nansemond River High School this morning.
There was like a huge cloud of smoke and everybody was running and there was like a crowd of people.
After watching video from the hallway, the fire marshal believes a fire extinguisher was knocked off the wall around 10 this morning.
There was no fire and nobody maliciously discharged an extinguisher.
About a dozen students had to be checked out for breathing issues at the hospital. School leaders say those parents were notified immediately, and a yellow alert went into effect at the school, getting kids out of the hallways. An additional 60 kids had to be checked out by paramedics at the school, including Michelle McCoy's daughter.
She said she was coughing, had a headache.
Her son Aiden said he initially thought someone was vaping in the bathroom.
And they're all running, screaming. I see people coming out with just white powder all over their clothes.
McCoy went to pick up her kids before an email was sent out to all parents around 12:30.
I understand that it's going to cause more hysteria when you send a mass text out, but we get text messages if buses are going to be 5 minutes late.
And her students hope school leaders will make some changes after this incident.
I would rather see the extinguishers in like cases instead of just on a mount on the wall. And I think just getting less kids in the school.
And tonight, the winter concert was scheduled to happen at 6 o'clock. It is still going to happen despite the incident that happened this morning. In Suffolk, Kiana Patterson, 10 on your side.
Chopper 10 now with the aftermath of a nasty fire in Virginia Beach. There's nothing left to the home on Knott's Island Road after a fire ripped through there last night. Crews were delayed getting there because of a crash blocking the roadway. A woman was also hurt in that fire. The extent of her injuries are not known yet. The cause is under investigation. A major loss of money for a woman who ran into an unfortunate incident in the parking lot of a bank in Virginia Beach. She's out more than $30,000 thanks to a pair of scam artists who took her withdrawal. 10 on your side's Andy Fox is live now in Virginia Beach with this story. Andy?
Yeah, we're here at the Wells Fargo 905 Kempsville Road, and this is a customer beware story, but it is also a banker beware story. The customer withdraws the money inside the bank and then gets ripped off here in the parking lot. Virginia Beach Police Information Officer Jude Brenya wants you to take a good look at the suspects in these pictures. The female suspect follows the victim into the bank. The male suspect flattens the victim's car tire outside. The surveillance camera picks up the female suspect and victim going into the bank. And while they're in there, the male suspect does something to her tire to flatten it. The victim goes to her car. The male suspect's over there at the 7-Eleven next door. And as she is coming around here to leave, he says something to the effect of, "Hey, your tire's flat. Let me help you change your tire." And it's during that distraction that the victim is ripped off.
And one was able to distract the victim while the other female suspect was able to reach into the victim's vehicle and take out the money.
The suspects who knew what they were doing got away with $33,000. And Major Dixon greatly concerned about what happened out here.
The bank should have done better, should have protected her, I think, in that case. And even if it necessary, should have escorted her to her car.
Keith Stanley concerned about it too.
She's an automatic target once she comes out of that bank, especially if anybody's in line. They're going to automatically leave the bank and come outside and wait for her if they're interested in taking that, you know?
The bank sent us this statement. Wells Fargo's aware of the incident, and our top concern is the safety and well-being of our customer. We are fully cooperating with the authorities in their ongoing investigations. Yes, then Wells Fargo referred all of our other questions to police. Police want you to keep your eyes out for the folks you saw in those pictures, and if you see them, call the crime line, 1-888-LOCK-YOU-UP. In Virginia Beach, Andy Fox, 10 on your side.
Andy, thank you. Continuing coverage now of a brewery battle in Norfolk. A major decision could come shortly for the new tenant of a brewery in the city. Armed Forces Brewing wants to take the next step in its business to open a banquet hall with live entertainment, but one of its owners has come under fire for alleged homophobic and racist remarks. Shortly, City Council will decide on whether Armed Forces can have a conditional use permit. 10 on your side is monitoring the vote. We'll have an update tonight at 10 and 11. New tonight from Virginia Beach, 10 on your side has learned that something in the water could be held at the ocean front in October of 2024. Pharrell Williams has said he doesn't want to hold the festival in April anymore. A presentation to City Council today showed a slide that inferred an October date instead. The city would not confirm whether or not the date was set in stone. 10 on your side is your local election headquarters. The race for mayor in Portsmouth is officially underway. Portsmouth Vice Mayor Lisa Lucas-Burke announced her candidacy in the 2024 race this afternoon. Lucas-Burke has been vice mayor since last year and from 2019 to 2020. She's also been a member of City Council. Lucas-Burke says she's running for the top job because the city deserves a mayor who's an effective communicator and a consensus builder in City Council. Well, the season of sniffling and sneezing means restrictions for an area hospital. Ahead on Wavy News 10 at 6, what it means for those who want to visit children at CHKD.
This is a very special blend of coffee called Veterans Harbor. I'll show you how you can help veterans help other veterans just by buying a bag.
And also for tonight, we have mostly clear skies for the area. It's going to get cold again. Temperatures dropping into the 20s inland, maybe 30s closer to the water, just like it was this morning. Tomorrow, we'll see a few more clouds. Temperatures will be near 50 degrees. There's some rain on the way for the weekend, maybe a stronger storm system, too. We'll take a look at that coming up.
And in sports, the Commanders are back from a bye week. Are they ready for the Rams on Sunday? Craig has that and more, all as we continue on this Tuesday night.
From the station on your side, you're watching Wavy News 10 at 6.
A surge in respiratory viruses has prompted CHKD to shut its doors to young visitors. Until further notice, no visitors under 12 years old will be allowed inside the Children's Hospital. This is to help prevent the spread of RSV and the flu and protect vulnerable patients. Dr. Christopher Foley told us the new policy is consistent with a lot of other children's hospitals across the country. Also, he says emergency departments and urgent care centers are being overwhelmed with patients.
So a lot of these kids are coming around the same time, and we're really running out of place to put them temporarily. We find a way to get them in. We haven't run out of bed space yet. We're not sending patients out of the area, but it's a little bit of a log jam.
Doctors remind parents that most children can be treated for cold-like symptoms at home with Tylenol rest and plenty of fluids. Seek help immediately, however, if your child ever has trouble breathing, is not eating, drinking, or sleeping. Next at 6, a jolt of generosity. What a local coffee company is brewing up to help a veterans group, which has helped many others itself after the break. And some even cooler weather on the way in Jeff's forecast. There's also some more rain down the road, so stay with us.
From the station on your side, you're watching Wavy News 10 at 6.
Back now with veterans helping veterans to the next level. This time it's to benefit a local VFW post. The post in Chesapeake recently moved into a former firehouse. It comes after Post 2894 has poured its heart and soul into projects to help other vets. That good deed is now getting a reward through coffee. 10 on your side's Chris Horn is following up tonight.
The owner of Neptune's Fury, this coffee shop on the lobby level of Dominion Tower, found out about the VFW through his brother-in-law, an Army veteran himself. 3 years ago, Jason Walker decided to shift from brewing beer to brewing coffee.
We ended up finding this roaster up in Chicago and finding this space and started a full build out.
While Walker was pouring his energies into transforming a former restaurant into a cafe with a lovely view of the river, VFW Post 2894 in Chesapeake was trying to transform an old fire station into its new headquarters. It's the same VFW we chronicled transforming the Chesapeake house, where a military couple got nearly $100,000 in repairs and renovations. Walker's brother-in-law was watching.
It was actually a story I saw on Channel 10 about them rebuilding a veteran's house that had a bunch of floor damage to it.
And then joined the Post after seeing our story.
He started telling me all about, the amazing things they're doing out in the community, and so we decided to step in and try to help where we could.
So Walker and Smith collaborated on this, Veterans Harbor. When you buy a bag of Veterans Harbor in store or online, $5 will go toward the VFW and its renovations.
We did a nice, dark, complex roast for all the veterans. They like it pretty intense.
The kind of strong coffee Smith remembers from his days as a door gunner on a Black Hawk during Enduring Freedom and Iraqi Freedom.
I have sent like a mass communication out to every person I've ever served with. There's people from like Washington State all the way to Fort Bragg are ordering the coffee.
We just started this month, but we've already sold a ton, so the veterans love coffee.
We have full information on Neptune's Fury and the special blend Veterans Harbor on our website, wavy.com. In Norfolk, Chris Horn, 10 on your side.
Now, your Super Doppler 10 forecast with Chief Meteorologist Jeff Edmondson.
Another cold night across our area. Temperatures are likely going to drop down into the 20s inland, 30s probably near the water. That's where we were this morning across our area. It's already starting to get cold out there with those clear skies. We'll have a few more clouds that'll move in tomorrow. But here's a look at our temperatures now. 39 degrees in Williamsburg, 35 Franklin, 38 degrees into Suffolk. There's not really a lot of wind out there. It's mostly calm. Only 1 or 2 locations where there's a little bit of a breeze. But basically, calm winds are expected for tonight. This is what's kind of interesting, and I was just talking to Don Slater about this, these dew points, how much humidity is in the air. Now, when we look at the scale here, yes, we're in that dry category. We're well below 55. This is more so for summertime, springtime, and fall. But the amount of dry air, or the amount of moisture that is in the air, is actually a little bit higher than what I would expect. I would think that these would be in the 20s, but we're in the 30s. This is an interesting fact because that's as low as a temperature can get. However, this happened last night. Dew points were in the 30s. Our temperatures got into the 20s, so the dew point dropped throughout the night. That could lead to another frost in the morning, so you could see a frosty windshield depending on where you have your car parked. Quick scrape. I don't think it's going to be anything too heavy, but could see a little frost again into the morning for tomorrow. I believe my kind of hypothesis on this is a lot of that humidity and moisture that's in the air is coming from the rainfall that we had over the past weekend. It's still slowly evaporating, adding just a little bit to kind of the lower levels. That's my guess. Anyway, here's a look outside. Mostly clear skies. We'll see sunshine tomorrow. There will be more clouds tomorrow, though. Some thin clouds passing by. No rain. We'll see sunny skies also on Thursday. A little bit windy on Thursday. Winds are out of the north. A fresh push of cold air comes in, so temperatures on Thursday will be in the 40s. Friday, the wind isn't as strong. We're back in the 50s for our high temperature. Then this weekend, we start to warm it up a little bit, but with the warmer temperatures comes a lot of rain. Sunday afternoon, the rain starts to move in from the storm system coming up from the Gulf of Mexico. Monday, early in the morning, this is 1:30 in the morning. I'm pausing it here for a reason, and I'll show you in a little bit. A lot of wind and a lot of rainfall in our area. So Sunday night going into Monday morning, we could see some heavy rainfall and some really strong wind gusts once again. Monday afternoon, not as much rainfall, but we still have the wind in the area. The storm system still is in the region on Tuesday, so we're looking at a long stretch of weather. Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, maybe Wednesday next week, where it's cloudy with some rain in the forecast. So we're going to end the streak of sunshine once we get into the weekend. An early prediction on the rainfall totals, 2 to 2.5 inches plus is possible. An early prediction on the wind, when you see the color purple here, those are wind gusts to 40 miles an hour. And we start to see that early Monday morning, around 1:30, 2 o'clock in the morning. So some strong wind with the storm system coming in, maybe. It all depends on the track of it. Remember, we're looking out into the future here. We still have 4 days to go until we start to see the clouds and the rain move in. That's Sunday and Monday. Keep an eye on it. Temperatures will be in the 50s.
The Norfolk State men's basketball team looking for a third straight big road win. Robert Jones speaking about his team. That's coming up. And how the Commanders approach the last 4 weeks of the season after the bye week. Sports Wrap is next.
Tonight on News Nation, as the year wraps up, can Congress get their act together? Chris is live with Congressman Jim Jordan, and he's asking those tough questions that we're all thinking. Tonight on Cuomo, 8/7 Central, only on News Nation. Tomorrow on News Nation, they're preparing for disaster deep below the earth.
I modeled for the middle-class family to afford this.
Brian Enton explores this underground community and why more Americans are moving in. On Balance, tomorrow. To find News Nation, go to joinnn.com.
All right, welcome back and happy Tuesday. The Commanders announcing this afternoon linebacker Jamin Davis will miss the rest of the year with a shoulder injury suffered in that loss to the Dolphins. Meanwhile, the team will be back on the practice field tomorrow to begin Week 15 preparations for the LA Rams. According to head coach Ron Rivera, coaches were around the facility in Ashburn during the bye week, but also did get some much-needed rest and relaxation as well. Now, while the team isn't mathematically eliminated from the playoffs quite yet, there's not much optimism this group is going to get there. Sitting at 4-9 with 4 games left to play and the games ahead, they're not cakewalks. The Rams, the Jets, 49ers, and Cowboys are all looming. Rivera yesterday on what he accomplished over the bye week and the mentality of the team in the home stretch of the season.
Well, without getting into the X's and O's of some of the things, but it was really good, an opportunity to see some of the things. And, now getting ready for this, these last 4 games, this last stretch, it's all about now playing well, playing fast, and, working to win football games. It has to be a one-game mentality. It has to be about coming in and being a professional and doing what a professional does. And it's come to work hard, develop, and then get out there and give your best.
The Washington Huddle is this Friday night at 10:30 on Fox 43. You'll hear more from Coach Rivera and the players this week as they prepare to head west to take on the Rams. We'll also talk fantasy football playoffs. Be sure to check it out. The Norfolk State men's basketball team is up to number 19 in the latest mid-major poll after 2 recent big road wins against VCU and Illinois State. The Spartans are the only HBCU in the mid-major top 25. Sitting at 7-3 this season, NSU is in the middle of a 4-game road trip that continues tomorrow night at Stony Brook. This team, led by that guy right there, Jamari Thomas, averaging 19 per game this season to begin the year. Robert Jones also saying yesterday there's a little more scoring depth on the team this season compared to recent years, and there's still a lot to look forward to as the season rolls on.
And the crazy thing about this group of guys is that, yeah, we're 7-3 with a couple quality wins, like you said. And honestly, we probably should have beat Wichita too. So, that we would have been 8-2, with 3 really big wins. But we still got 8 new guys. Like, we haven't even found ourselves yet. We got to find, probably midway during the season is when we're going to really find ourselves. So I'm excited about the possibilities.
The Spartans against Stony Brook tomorrow night at 6:30. That's tip-off. The game will be streamed on Flow Hoops. So high school football wrapped up this past weekend. We're full steam ahead. College basketball, men and women, and all our winter sports. And the holidays are right around the corner. But first, we got to get through this ODU Bowl game coming up.
You guys are
taking
busy.
off for that on Thursday.
Thursday heading out.
Yeah.
Okay.
I won't be here in studio. I'll be in Charlotte, Queen City. First trip to Charlotte.
Very cool. Hopefully it's a little warmer there this weekend.
I don't know. Got to talk to the man.
We'll find out as the week goes on, I guess.
Yeah, there's a big storm system coming up from the Gulf of Mexico, a lot of rainfall, so not as bad there as maybe here. We could have much stronger winds here. We're going to have to watch that system closely, but for the meantime, sunshine with highs in the 50s.
Our fingers are crossed for you, Craig, and the whole ODU team, of course. That's all we have tonight at 6. Our next newscast is at 6:30 on Fox 43. See you there.